Yo, what's up, family? Before we start the video, please leave a like, subscribe, and share to any and everyone that you can, just so we can get out there a little bit more. With that being said, let's get right into the video. Spurs guard Stephon Castle did a phenomenal job against an MVP candidate in Cade Cunningham in a huge game versus the Pistons, and I want to take a look, so let's get into the film. Alright, how y'all doing? I hope y'all doing good. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not, make sure to take your shoes off before you come out. And Stephon Castle, man, it's just a very unique player. And when you're going against a guy like Cade Cunningham, you need somebody that is about his size, that's 6'6", that is strong, that is agile, and has a very high IQ. And Stephon Castle has that rare blend of skill and build and measurements and athleticism to be able to do that. And in this game, he really showed us that two-way stardom that he could potentially be headed to in the future. So in this game, Stephon Castle has 16 points, 11 assists, 4 rebounds, a steal, and a block, shooting 7-16 from the field. On the season, Stephon Castle is filling up the stat sheet: 17 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists. And yes, 100%, we need him. And when I say we, I mean the Spurs, NBA fans, everybody. We need Stephon Castle to be more efficient. We already know this. He only shoots 47% from the field, 29% from 3, and 72% at the line, even though he gets there a lot. We need Stephon Castle to be more efficient before he really takes that next level, right? But the fact that he doesn't have a consistent shot right now, and he's able to be this impactful because he's still super aggressive. He can hit it from time to time. He's not like a zero on the perimeter, you know what I'm saying? It's just so great that he can do these things while not being at his full form. But here the Spurs love to go to these pin downs for Victor, these wide pin downs, and it just does a great job of using his alien-like abilities. So when Victor's able to curl these and use his length and quickness against bigs who aren't really used to defending wide pin downs, it just does so much for the Spurs offense. But here they try to run it. Duran does a nice job denying that and top blocking him so he can't use it. So then we get into a pick and roll, and you see the roll impact of Victor, right? And you see how even before he rolls, we have Asar Thompson and Cade Cunningham coming, having 2 feet into the paint off of Devastator, who's a great shooter. Stephon Castle did a great job of creating all night. Again, 11 assists right there. He starts it to Vassell for a second 3. All right, so here back on offense, and guys, this may seem like a very simple play and common knowledge for him to be one of the best lob throwers because he has one of the best lob threats of all time. But y'all, when I tell you, I used to watch the Spurs in Victor's rookie year, and the only person that consistently understood that he was a weapon and you can just throw the ball up to him was Trey Jones. Shout out to Jeremy Sohan. I'm not sure how Spurs fans feel about him, but I remember when Popovich was going through the Jeremy Sohan PG experiment. Again, I understood then, I definitely understand now how great positional size is and how valuable positional size is, and having a 6'8", 6'9" versatile point guard could definitely help you and point you in the right direction. But that team just did not use Victor nearly enough. So when I see that Castle was one of the best lob throwers in the NBA, that's what it's supposed to be. He's supposed to just throw the ball up to Victor and get easy points. But when I tell you, defensively, he did everything on Cade Cunningham. On the ball pressure, off the ball pressure, forced him not to shoot the ball, forced him to take tough shots, contesting those shots, forced him to be frustrated. He is just everything on the defense side of the ball. Per B-ball index, he's 8th in matchup difficulty, which means every single night, Stephon Castle is guarding the opposing team's best player. He's in the 98th percentile in perimeter ISO defense. He's ranked number 2 in the NBA in ball screen navigation. And there's always a discussion about two-way players, like who's truly a two-way player, right? I'm not saying Stephon Castle is one of the best two-way guys in this league, but just strictly off of usage and how his team uses him, Stephon Castle is number 1 in two-way usage and two-way low. What this encompasses is true usage plus matchup difficulty. So how much is a guy involved on the offensive side? He has a 33.4 on ball percentage, so that means he's in the offense a lot. Again, he averages 7 assists, he averages 17 points. He's in the Spurs offense, he's a part of the Spurs offense, he has the ball in his hands a lot. And then when you go on the other side of the court, again, 8th in matchup difficulty means that he is guarding the best guy almost every single night, almost every single possession he's on the floor. So again, this does not mean he's the best two-way guy in the league, but per usage, he's doing it. And definitely on the defensive side, he's doing it very well. Again, the offense, we still got to get the efficiency up before we take that next step. But here on this play, he does a nice job just pressuring Cade wherever he goes, staying connected to him the entire time, goes over that ball screen. Cade tries to drive, gets something going, gets the space that Cade Cunningham needs to hit the shot, but a good contest by Castle. All right, share what I talked about on the first play comes to fruition. Again, bigs are not used to having to defend wide pin down. So they don't know the best way to navigate these things because they don't really practice it unless they're playing the Spurs and they go through tape and they show it that for this night we have to worry about this. Duran's just not used to this, so they get it to Vic here and he hits a three. And man, just look at the amount of pressure that he's applying on Cade, and he did this all night. There was no let up, nothing. Every time Stephon Castle was in the game, every time he saw Cade Cunningham, it was 94 feet pressure. After a basket, off a miss, he was running to Cade Cunningham. But something that I thought Castle did a good job of for most of this night, on most possessions where he was guarding Cade, he didn't allow Cade to cross over. So you're gonna see his hands on this possession, right? He has his hand right here in the crossover lane, so Cade can't cross over right there. So he's either just gonna have to create a straight line advantage and stuff like that. But here, there you see the ball screen runs through a Jalen Duran screen, and you're gonna see his hands right here, right? You see his hands. Cade was about to cross over, but he saw Stephon Castle's hands, so he just does it in and out. And that pressure, right? It is 9 seconds on the shot clock. Cade hadn't got inside the 3-point line one time, or even closer to the 3-point line one time. And the Pistons do score because Duncan Robinson is a good shooter, and Duran was there on that action, but it wasn't because of Stephon Castle. Again, supreme pressure on the ball against Cade Cunningham, no matter where he is. I talked about him not being able to cross over. He got it between the legs there, but he almost lost it. So I guess that count. But again, just hounding him, playing defense with his chest and not his hands, not fouling Cade Cunningham, using his hands only to take away crossover lanes, but the whole way sliding his feet, using his chest, and to get some help from Keldon Johnson in the paint. I say the Pistons try to go to this horn set with Cade getting the ball right here, and I cannot express to you guys, especially in the context of this game, how important it is when a play is ran for Cade Cunningham that you can make the play not be for Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham, when I talked about the two-way thing earlier, right, and I talked about true usage, B-Ball Index has this thing where they calculate true usage, right? Cade Cunningham is #1 in true usage. It just means that he's the engine of this offense. Like, nothing happens on offense without Cade Cunningham on the Pistons. So when you're Stephon Castle and you can make plays intended for Cade Cunningham and shots that are intended for Cade Cunningham to take, not go to Cade Cunningham, that is super, super big, and that is a win. He deflects a pass right there because of his pressure, and he makes this shot and this play not touch Cade Cunningham's hands. I know that that's a wide open three, but Javonte Green has struggled from three as of late. And would you rather Cade Cunningham have an open shot or Javonte Green? And then on the other end, Stephon Castle is a relentless driver to the rim, 94th percentile in fouls drawn per 75 possessions. Gets hit there. And something I feel that is really underrated about Stephon Castle's game is his craft and his handle. He has a good handle. He has great footwork inside the arc. He's an inside the arc scorer, so he has to have some type of bag or some type of way to finish at these unorthodox footwork things so he can create advantage in the paint, and he has all that stuff. But here, against one of the best perimeter defenders in the league, Victor Wembanyama's coming up to set the screen. Osar Thompson knows this, so he's gonna kind of creep over to this way. Stephon Castle knows that, crosses over, leading to Castles in the sky. All right, here we got Stephon Castle in another pick and roll situation as a handler. Gonna have Dylan Harper. He's gonna outcut there to the wing just to clear space for this pick and roll with him and Wemby. So they get it right there in the pick and roll, and Javonte Green comes off of the corner again. Victor Wembanyama as the roller just attracts so much. The Pistons are coming all the way inside on this in the paint. Very physical team, right? But Javonte Green played for my franchise. Every team that Javonte Green goes to, the fan base loves him, right? He's a very smart and instinctual defensive player. So he's coming off this corner, but don't think for 1 second that he cannot get a beat on this pass, right? So what, again, I talked about that craft that Stephon Castle has. He's going to the paint. He's going to jump. He's going to look to the corner and ball fake it like he's going to pass to the corner. Of course, Javonte Green was expecting it, but he wasn't expecting it to be a ball fake. And Castle finishes. And again, I talked about him causing some frustration from Cade Cunningham. Nobody likes to be hounded 24/7. Like when Castle's in the game, it's no exaggeration, bro. He was on him, grabbing him, constant pressure all throughout the game. And Cade Cunningham just like pushes him down as he's trying to go to the screen. I don't know how Cade didn't get a tech here, but again, this just shows what Stephon Castle was doing in this game. Okay, so I hinted at this a little bit before, but I was talking about when there's plays for Cade Cunningham, especially this specific team where Cade Cunningham is the entire offense. Everything goes through him, and you would rather anybody else on this team have to create for themselves than Cade Cunningham, right? And I talked about how, listen, every play that's intended for Cade Cunningham, every shot that's intended for Cade Cunningham, if there is a way that you can make him not shoot the ball or not get the ball, it is an automatic win. One of the most underrated parts about defense to me that does not show up in the stat sheet, there's no stat for this, is when a defender can make a star player not touch the ball or not shoot the ball. There's no stat for that. There's no shot defense. There's no closest defender, no deflection, no steal, no block, nothing. So in the first half, Cade Cunningham was 4 for 11. Everybody knows. You watched this game, you saw this game. He ended 5 for 26. This is the first play of the second half. Cade Cunningham went 4 for 11 in the first half. They're coming out trying to run this play for Cade Cunningham to get him going. Stephon Castle makes this play not go to Cade with ball denial. And then that forces Asar Thompson to shoot something that we know he's not accustomed to making. So Cade Cunningham again started 4 for 11 in the first half. And they come out, they're like, hey man, we need Cade to be more aggressive. We got to get Cade going. And maybe if he scores on this first possession, maybe he has a big second half offensively. But we would never know because Stephon Castle played that so well. All right, so just try to look at the vision and the basketball IQ here of Stephon Castle. So Devin Sale's coming down the court. Victor's going to set this rip screen on Cade Cunningham. It looked like this was going to be a flare screen. It looks like a flare screen, but if Vassell was a flare, there's nowhere he can go. Asar Thompson's right there, right next to De'Aaron Fox. So he sets his rip screen. Vassell cuts, but look at the entire time. He's not even worried about Devin Vassell. Like the entire time, his eyes are looking at De'Aaron Fox. He knew from this moment right here, he's looking at De'Aaron Fox the whole time. He knows that with this screen being set by Cade Cunningham, he's going to be lagging behind. Duren can't leave Victor Wembanyama because if he backs up into this passing lane, pass goes right to Vic, he hits a 3. So he knows that Asar Thompson is the guy that's going to pick this up. So the whole time he's looking at De'Aaron Fox, Fox just doesn't hit it, but great play by Castle. All right, see the Pistons inbound the ball with 11 seconds left, and just watch the off-ball pressure by Stephon Castle. Not letting Cade go anywhere. He's still out of bounds with 7 seconds left. He took the ball out 4 seconds ago, but this is what constant on-ball and off-ball pressure does to somebody. I just saw the Celtics do this all game to Luka Doncic, and this is what happens to guys that are constantly pressured. Sometimes they just like, I'll just take a play off, but then Cade finally tries to come get the ball. Jalen Duren almost turns it over because of the off-ball pressure. He doesn't know when Castle's going to try to jump the lane, and he has 2 seconds, 1.9 at the logo. Now he has to just shoot up a very contested shot. Great stuff by Castle. And man, Stephon Castle has some incredible two-way sequences in this game. So here, the Pistons do a nice job of getting Cade Cunningham off the ball. He's been facing 94 feet pressure on and off the ball all game. So they try to get him into the post right here. We got a back screen by Duncan Robinson to get Cade post position, right? So we got 14 seconds on the clock when Tobias Harris has his ball and Cade's in the post. Stephon Castle's like, yeah, nah, brother, I'm going to front this post, right? So now 10 seconds on the clock, Cade still hasn't gotten the ball. Now, the Pistons do the correct thing here, right? If Castle is fronting the post, this pass from the wing into Cade, especially with Victor here, is very tough. So what do you have to do? You have to change the angle of the post entry pass, right? So Jalen Duren does a phenomenal job. He flashes to the free throw line to initiate this high-low action. Now you see that since Victor has to be up to Jalen Duren, and since Castle was fronting the post, this pass here, this passing lane is open, but Castle still continues to fight. Cade Cunningham can't catch the ball, only has one hand on it, and he gets the Spurs force a turnover there. Then we go on offensive side of the ball, and again, he is relentless as a driver. We got some 77 action here. 77 is just 2 on-ball screens. Stephon Castle is top 20 in the NBA in drives per 75 possessions. He's always going to put pressure on the rim and on the defense, and here finishes over Cade. I sure we see some of that ball screen navigation here, dodging 1 screen, dodging 2 screens, now staying on to Cade Cunningham. But this go screen by Duncan Robinson is very dangerous because it's Duncan Robinson. You don't want to leave Duncan Robinson open. So they have to switch this, right? But with Castle off them, they still have lanky alien bruh down there to do stuff like that and have the coordination to fall and get the ball out. And Stephon Castle's going to hit the corner 3. All right, see the Pistons go to Slob. Iverson. Slob is just an acronym for sideline out of bounds. Right here, Cade Cunningham was taking the ball out. He passes to Ron Holland. And then we have the Iverson cut. And Iverson cut is when somebody uses 2 screens. They're usually going to be in this area, like at the elbows of the free throw line. And then an Iverson cut is when somebody uses those 2 screens to cut from one wing to the other wing. So Cade is going to use that on that wing to go over Javonte Green, sets that screen. Then they get into a little pick and roll situation. Not really, because Jalen Duren didn't really have to set this pick because of the action. Cade was already on the move, and he's able to just dive to the basket. Now, Cade does have a half a step on Castle, but watch this stab right there by Wemby with that 8-foot wingspan. Kind of gets Cade to hesitate for a second, and that's all Castle needed to get back in front. Now he pump fakes, but Castle has that length right there. Looks like K is out of bounds a little bit there, but we won't worry about that. But again, look at the containment by Castle. Again, you need somebody that's K Cunningham's size, about his size at 6'6", what Castle is, and that can have the strength to absorb one of the strongest point guards in the league, takes that bump, and is still able to have the athleticism and the strength to block that shot. And I talked about the two-way sequences. Takes the bump there, takes the toughness, and watch this. Bop, bop. Hey, bro. Ron Holland's a very active defender on the perimeter, man. But when you break a guy down, the double tween right there gets to the paint, and again, draws hella fouls, the toughness, the and one. And here we got another great pass by Stephon Castle, manipulating the tagger in the pick and roll. We saw Javonte Green come off the corner. He was expecting the pass to the corner. Castle ball faked him and got a layup. Now watch this one, right? So Caris LeVert is responsible for tagging on this play. A tag is when somebody comes off the corner to stop this roller from getting a layup. So he's going to come right here and make sure this guy does not get a free run to the basket. So Caris LeVert comes off of Keldon Johnson, and his job is to come in the paint right here, right? So watch Castle. As Luke Cornett's rolling, you see Caris LeVert's here. Castle's eyes are looking at Keldon Johnson the entire time. Caris LeVert sees that. He takes a step like he's going over there, and Castle fakes the pass towards Keldon Johnson and then allows it to Cornett. That is such good IQ by Castle. And I know, guys, it's common sense, but I watched people not do it. I watched guards not do it and not be used to having a weapon like this. And Castle just recognizing that he can just throw the ball up is huge for the Spurs and the Area 51 connection. But that is a video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe, and share it any and everyone that you can, just so we can get out there a little bit more. And I will see you guys in the next video. But this is Nick. Peace.